3 more buses arriving in New York City from Texas yesterday, the biggest single-day arrival so far. Hundreds of migrants in the Big Apple also lining up outside a local hospital to get free health care, phones, food. Some of those migrants will reportedly be housed in a, get this, $700 a night luxury hotel on the taxpayer's dime, as the Daily Mail is reporting that they will use a different entrance than the tourists. Joining us now is Newsweek opinion editor Josh Hammer. He is the host of the Josh Hammer Show. Josh, Eric Adams, what, and pray tell, is this man doing right now? I mean, New York has got a lot of problems. He's adding to the issues that this city faces right now.
Cheryl, great to be with you. So what's happened over the past year, in particular the southern border, is an unmitigated humanitarian disaster. If you add up the total number of encounters and migrants who have crossed the border just in this fiscal year alone, which, by the way, has not ended yet, there's roughly a month left this fiscal year, literally in this year, there are more migrants and total encounters than over the entire 4 years of President Trump's presidency combined. So what Governor Abbott in Texas is doing, to me, makes a lot of sense. From his perspective, from Texas' perspective, from Arizona's perspective, illegal immigration is a huge problem. But from the perspective of Eric Adams, of New York City, of these big liberal, sanctimonious, so-called sanctuary cities, you know, illegal immigration from their perspective purportedly, allegedly, is not a problem. It's a virtue. It's Emma Lazarus. You know, some of you are poor, you're tired, your huddled masses yearning to be free, right? So it makes sense to try to place the economic burden where it is going to hurt the most. So I think what Governor Abbott is doing here is very clever. But from a New York City taxpayer perspective, you know, I live in Florida. I don't live in New York anymore. I would be livid. I mean, this is truly insane, obviously, and hopefully the madness stops sometime soon.
Well, Josh, I live here, to be clear. And, you know, we've got a lot of issues right now. I mean, the streets are dirty. Crime is out of control. You name it. And he's adding this to his list of, like, I don't understand what he's doing. But anyway, all right. Let's talk about this latest op-ed that you wrote. It was really good. The death of the Bush and Cheney political dynasties. You lay out lessons from Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney's primary defeat last week. What I think is so interesting is that you point out is that how she made a big political gamble joining the January 6th committee, and that gamble did not pay off for her.
No, to put it mildly, it did not pay off. I mean, if you compare what happened to Liz Cheney, you know, the op-ed talked about what also happened with George P. Bush, who lost his attorney general primary runoff against Ken Paxton down in Texas. You know, George P. Bush lost that runoff to Ken Paxton by roughly 35, 36 points. Liz Cheney got walloped, of course, by Harriet Hageman in Wyoming by a very similar measure, by roughly 37 points. You know, these are catastrophic defeats to the names Bush and Cheney. So to me, kind of the broader symbolic picture here, if you look at these two races in particular, is that the American people and Republican primary voters in particular really want to finally, once and for all, turn the page on the excesses and the various destructive policies of the Bush-Cheney era. I mean, there is no going back, Cheryl, to the pre-2016, pre-Trump status quo ante. There is no going back to the effete, make nice with the liberals, country club republicanism, this, you know, swashbuckling neoconservatism around the world. There's no going back to that. We have changed, and the only question now, obviously, come 2024, is whether Trump comes back or whether we continue with the kind of policies that Trump put into place under a different banner. But Liz Cheney, like you said, Cheryl, she made a huge gamble, and I think her sanctimonious attitude, her holier-than-thou attitude, really, really rubbed a lot of Wyoming voters the wrong way. Okay. Good for them for voting for her.
Well, so in Wyoming, I mean, certainly that seems to have been the case, and that was the case. She lost that primary bid, but at the same time, you do have some races, and I'm thinking about Arizona, I'm thinking about Ohio, where, you know, whether or not the Republicans take back the Senate, according to an op-ed over the weekend, and your competitor, sorry, the Wall Street Journal, but they're part of our News Corporation family. They write that a lot of these Republican primary winners for Senate seats, Ohio, Arizona, are looking to Mitch McConnell. They're looking for money because they're realizing that in the general, come November, they might be in trouble. And obviously, Mitch McConnell, nobody else would love to see the Senate go back to being Republican like Mitch McConnell would.
Yeah, so it's very interesting, right? So Senator Rick Scott, a senator from my state of Florida, is kind of the chair of the NRSC, the National Republican Senatorial Committee. And I think there's been a lot of questions raised as to what is happening with all the NRSC funds, and now some people are kind of looking to Mitch McConnell to come in there. Look, I mean, from Mitch McConnell's perspective, he just wants a Republican majority, full stop, period, end of story. So from his self-interested perspective, if nothing else, he should be all out there getting on the ground, getting his money into Ohio, Arizona, Georgia, you know, even states like New Hampshire, maybe. I mean, really any state where Republicans might have a shot to retake the majority. But look, I mean, I think there's a lot of doomsdaying. There's a lot of negative predictions right now on the right. Some people are looking at Biden's approval ratings that are ticking up maybe just a little more relative to where they were a month ago. I'm actually not among them. I continue to think that the fundamentals of this election continue to favor Republicans. And if I were a betting man right now, I actually do think the Republicans go ahead and take Ohio, Nevada, and Arizona, and probably the Georgia race as well, I think.
All right. Well, real quick before I let you go, I do want to ask you about this. This new NBC News poll finds a whopping 74% of voters say the country is headed in the wrong direction. 58% believe the country's best days are in the rearview mirror. More than half of Americans, 55%, not happy with President Biden's job performance. Your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the kind of fundamentals that I was just talking about. I mean, when you see statistics like this, I mean, as recently as less than a month ago, I think 16% of Americans, according to one Monmouth University poll, said that America was heading in the right direction. 16%. I mean, from my perspective, it's very difficult to look at numbers like the ones that you just read to the viewers there and conclude that this is going to be anything other than a major pickup for Republicans. I mean, the individual races, the horse race numbers will go up and down. But I think McConnell, like you said, will come in there. They'll get the funding in place. And by November, by the time that people come back from their Labor Day vacations and actually start to pay attention to the news again, they look at the grocery prices, the gas pump prices, which are still very, very, very high relative to when President Trump was in office a year and a half ago. I still think Republicans are in good shape to retake the Senate this fall.
And a lot of market analysts, a lot of bank analysts, Wall Street watchers are all looking at the November midterms. And if we do have this red wave, what that means for business and regulations. And it would be, most of them say, a good thing for the markets. Josh Hammer, it's great to see you. Thank you for being here.